Half of the women and gender constituency. Feminists and LGBTQI+ people across this region and the world are standing firm against extractivism, militarization, and the financing of destruction that threatens both people and the planet. Outside these rooms, millions of people are watching multilateralism fall apart. Trust is disappearing as decisions fail to reflect people's needs or deliver climate finance that is required for adaptation, mitigation, and addressing losses and damages. Yet, the power of our people is alive in the process. The Belém Gender Action Plan that names multidimensional factors shaping climate injustice, recognizes women environmental defenders, and strengthens national-level coherence felt impossible. Feminist power delivered it in the halls of Belém. We also join our allies and siblings who fought for over 2 years to bring a compelling proposal to the table that today moves us closer to an ambitious and tangible just transition. We celebrate the mandate for the Belém Action Mechanism. It is a bold step needed to take climate cooperation to a level that delivers for the people. We remind you that we don't come here to fight for words. We fight for our lives and our bodies. When you remove references to human rights, when you fail to deliver on finance, you threaten the possibilities of justice from the solutions we have dreamed together. Women, LGBTQI+, and gender diverse people pay the price. Continued dependence on fossil fuels, rooted in colonial domination and patriarchy, sabotages the commitments made in Paris and Rio, and pushes the world deeper into catastrophe. Justice requires real resources now and a rapid global phase-out of fossil fuels. Our power is not in these hollow decisions, but in the struggle they illuminate, and we will return to these halls to fight for our rights.
Indigenous people are under attack. We face colonial militarization of our territories where states and corporations trade our lives for fossil fuels, transition minerals, and large-scale renewables. We stand in solidarity with our Amazonian relatives and condemn the killing of land defenders. This was mirrored by the heavy militarization of this COP. Even at the indigenous COP, we have been excluded. We recognize the historic inclusion of the rights of indigenous people, including our rights to self-determination, free, prior, and informed consent, and the protection of indigenous people's involuntary isolation in the Just Transition Work Program text. While we welcome the inclusion of our rights in the Muchi route, sliding us to the preamble and not the operational text is unacceptable. Here, land rights and traditional knowledge apply exclusively to indigenous peoples. The Muchi route lacks the ambition to live up to its indigenous name. The President's roadmap to phase out fossil fuels and end deforestation must ensure our full participation and credibility and effectiveness. There can be no just transition if our territories remain sacrifice zones. Solidarity with indigenous Pacific relatives who face extreme expense and barriers to attend COPs on the other side of the world. They deserve a Pacific COP. We urge parties to take full advantage of the pre-COP to witness climate impacts on their land and ocean territories and meaningful support and resource Pacific and indigenous COP at 31. Parties, there is no true multilateralism without the real culture of indigenous people. Our duty to our future generation requires to put relationship over ego, money, and power. It's time for you to learn to do the same. Thank you.
My name is Jasmine Sabatina. I'm speaking on behalf of Yango as a children and youth constituency. The earlier comments on children are extremely harmful and go against the rights of children, degrading the children agency and ability to act honorably. So to continuous comments and relating to the children, youth throughout the session, how can the children and youth expected to act as agent to change addressing the climate crisis as recognize your period decision with such disempowering and condescending views? Being raised in multiple crises, we should all applaud children and youth around all of the world efforts, not encouraging one another like less them. It is our shared responsibility to create just, equitable, sustainable future without compromising our most vulnerable marginalized communities. 10 years of Paris Agreement, the world did not crack. The International Court of Justice said clearly countries are not meeting their legal duties. The COP is called the COP of truth. So let's be honest. Can we reach Paris Agreement? If we continue like this, we need a system which Paris fair, open, allows full participation to all party people in a good faith. It must not allow fossil fuel lobbyists or human rights abusers. Only then can process deliver to real climate justice. Throughout this COP, you can see the countries going backward, arguing over language already agreed before and ignoring gender, diversity, intersectability. These issues are really affected how people experience the climate crisis. We are deeply happy that civil society are the just transition mechanism progress on WIM, but we are seeing that language adaptation finance and refuse the call of commitment to the GGA indicators. Developing countries are financially responsible, instead developed on deliver on them. Although this COP is called Nature COP, but the agricultural farmers are mostly ignored. No proper recognition, Chilean and use safe carbon budget.
I am from Mexico, where our peoples have suffered expansion of ecocide, imperialism, and organized crime. This cup of truth has shown once again that this is not enough, not inside these walls, and not within this extractive, decaying economic system. Despite fossil fuel lobbyists, global north blocking tactics, scapegoats, and false solutions, COP30 has delivered some necessary advances on the just transition mechanism. We reject any attempts to financialize our territories through schemes like TFFF and assert the urgent need for public, ground-based climate finance. This COP showed that the real direction of climate action comes from people-led, community-rooted solutions. We will continue to fight inside the convention, but it is the power of the peoples and movements that will deliver the transformation that is needed. Viva lo común y la lucha sigue.
I speak on behalf of the Climate Action Network. Chair, we came to COP30 with the scars of a world where suffering and pain is all around us, with concern on the ability of this COP to respond to our demands of justice for people and communities suffering the climate crisis. On most of those demands, finance, adaptation, the energy transition, this COP has not delivered. But Chair, let me share our pride that in the land of Chico Mendes, in the continent of Berta Cáceres and Julia Chunil, a promise has been made that social and economic justice and climate action will no longer be separated. We made huge progress towards delivering the mechanism for just transition, our BAM. This is the result of a hard-fought struggle by workers, communities, and civil society. Chair, we all deserve dignity and happiness. Solid climate action with just transition at the heart is the way to get there. Thank you very much.